The following program may contain coarse language, violence, nudity, mature subject matter, or scenes which may not be suitable for all viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
And welcome back to the X Zone, everyone. I am Rob McConnell, coming to you from our broadcast center and studios in St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada. If you would like to send me an email, xzone@xzoneradiotv.com, on all social media sites, X Zone Radio TV. And we're coming to you around the world tonight on the Talkstar Radio Network, Mutual Broadcast Network, the X Zone Broadcast Network, X Zone TV channel, and on Simul TV. Oh, wow. Here we are. After round 2 of COVID within a month. I must tell you that if anybody does not have their vaccinations yet, I would strongly suggest you get them, because if this is how you feel after having all the, the boosters, the vaccinations, and so on, if people don't have it, I can only imagine the hell on green earth that they go through. But you know what? It's up to you. I'm happy to be back here with you, with the X Zone Nation. X Zone Nation, my first guest tonight is Randall Smith, and let's bring Randall on, Craig. And Randall, welcome to the X Zone.
Hi, Rob. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Great to be back here after 2 rounds of COVID. And,
oh, man.
But that's it. Yeah. It must have been the Australian strain, because just out of it came right back. Randall, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got interested in the paranormal.
Interested in paranormal? Well, I died at 6 years old of carbon monoxide poisoning. I was clinically dead for 20 minutes, and when I came back, I had all this crazy stuff that I was doing. I was raised in a Southern Baptist family, so I was going to hell all the time because I saw stuff, I heard stuff, I felt stuff, and sensed stuff, and after a while, you get called a liar until it starts showing proof of it in front of you, and been kind of involved in that since then. I'm 60, so 50-something years I've been doing this. I'm an upholsterer by trade. I'm a retired professional musician, so just kind of doing a little bit of everything, and I've been involved in the paranormal since 6, and I still am very strong today.
Can you share with us your experience that you had when you were 6 years old, when you had your first near-death experience?
Okay. My dad, I was working on a friend of his car. So he always went along with him. I'm the son. So went over with him, and he's working in a garage, and the car was running, and they were standing in an open door that they can walk in and out of. Well, I was in the garage behind the car playing. They didn't know I was in the garage. So I was back there doing something or another. I remember getting dizzy, and I fell and hit my head on the bumper, and I was out, and I was gone. And I was immediately in a light. And when I came into the light, there was 2 white beings that escorted me from there to different levels of the light, different not cities, but different, it felt like cities. I mean, I was only 6, so
sure,
different places within the light. And we wound up in a room that looked like a well, a great big octagon-shaped well. And in the middle of the well was confetti. It felt like confetti, but it was glowing crystals and confetti-like, and it's just absolutely amazing how it felt. And I seen it. And of course, being a 6-year-old, I reached over and put my hands in it, and I did one of these numbers, and it was just magnificent. The feeling of it was just absolutely incredible. Tingled. It was just tingled, but it wasn't shocking, but it tingled. So when I pulled my hands back out, I just kind of rubbed them together, and I'm looking at these light beings on both sides of me, and I hear in my head, you can go anywhere you want. So I'm looking, and when I look, these tunnels appeared in front of me. There's 4 of them, right, left, front, and back. And when I looked to my left for the second time, that's when I was revived on a couch in these people's house. Ironically, there was a nurse on hand, so they did have oxygen and stuff. I was able to get that to me, and so on and so forth. So And then here we are today, still seeing and hearing stuff, and it's just absolutely crazy. It's crazy.
I understand you help spirits cross over.
Yes. Yes.
How do you do that?
Well, when somebody calls, and I get a lot of calls all the time
Mhm.
about my house is haunted, can you come over and take a look? I'm not an investigator. I have many friends
Right.
who are investigators. I don't investigate. I go and take care of business and I'll leave. But anyways, I'll ask what's going on, and if they give me some definite signs that I think that you have some activity going on in your house, then I'll make arrangements. We'll go. The majority of the time when I talk to you on the phone, I can sense that energy coming through you, that there's some spirits going on within the house. And I can usually identify without you saying anything to me about what's going on. There's doors opening, closing, sheets have been pulled off, lights coming on and off, or whatever the case may be. And we kind of just go from there. And then we just make arrangements, and I go down and help them cross over. It's a little bit of a process to be able to do that. Anybody can do it. I'd highly suggest training from a shamanic practitioner or somebody who's involved in doing this type of work. It is called Psychopomp. I've been doing this for a very, very, very long time. Yeah, Psychopomp. Psychopompomp. Psychopomp. Yeah, it's been around forever and forever. I love doing it. I've only had a few times that I've been scared, but I love doing it. I was scared more after I had my near-death experience than I am now. I mean, I'm gonna knock on some wood right here, but
Sure.
It's just people don't know that they've died most of the time because of the trauma and the drama of the death experience itself, like being shot from behind or something. You didn't even know what happened. All of a sudden, you're not even there, and you're still carrying on with conversations with the person you were with, if they were with you. So they don't even know that they're dead. So they keep going, and then they're asking, and there's no response. And now they're kind of freaking out because they don't know what really is going on, because the light doesn't appear naturally all the time for everybody who has a traumatic or a sudden death. It does take an act of somebody coming from the light and telling you that this is your time. It's time for you to go on. Sometimes that doesn't happen because I don't know. It just doesn't happen sometimes. And fear is a big one too that keeps people here in this dimension. Fear could be anything from growing up in a religious family. I'm going to go to hell. Like I grew up in a very religious family. My grandfather was a Southern Baptist minister. So in that aspect of it, like I said, I was going to hell all the time because I see things, I hear things, I sense things, I smell things, I know things. Just, I can tell you what you had for breakfast sometimes if I touch it. I mean, it's just kind of crazy how it's tuned me in the near-death experience itself. But helping somebody cross over to me is a gift that was given to me because I sense them. I can communicate with them. I'm a medium, of course. You've been able to communicate with them. You're medium. Psychic, you pick up impressions. A medium is able to communicate with spirit pretty clearly, depending on the message you're sending. So in that aspect of it, I just, was able to help people when I was a very young age, and I didn't know really what I was doing. And that I discovered shamanism, and I took a couple classes in shamanism. Then I became basically a life member of that, where I was taught the proper way to go about helping souls cross over and not having them attached to you, and get them to go over. And there's a process that you do in order to help this to happen too. Hope that helped a little bit.
It must be very frustrating for the spirits who don't know they're dead, and they find themselves in a totally different circumstance. Yeah.
Yes. Now, for instance, I have done. Go ahead.
No,
I have done
go
several.
ahead, please.
I have several battle scenes, and during these battle scenes, you have the trauma of war, where there's 25, 30, 40 people, 50 people at a time that die at one time, and they don't really know what happened. So now the energy has surrounded the area, and the energy of the trauma can keep souls there too. So they're reliving this and reliving it until that is cut or broke. And that's where I come into play, or somebody else that knows how to do this comes into play and kind of severs that tie with the energy and asks for those who are in the light to come forth and assist and help with the healing of these people to cross over. That's part of the process. So, and when that happens, usually they realize this ain't right. Something's wrong here. And then if I get a chance to talk to them, I can, ask them certain questions like, what year is this? Do you know what happened? Do you know that you died? Things like that. And they can usually get it at that point, and then they just kind of go rather quickly because they realize, okay, it's time for me to move on, and then they move on.
Right. How long does it usually take, Randall, from the time you enter a room? Or
kind of really depends on the situation. I've spent as much as 4 and 5 hours on location before. Sometimes 10 minutes, sometimes an hour, sometimes 4 or 5, really depending on the situation and what's really going on there. The majority of the time, it's me communicating with who is there and why are you still here? Is it an unfinished lesson, unfinished business? Do you really need to do something else? Do you know that you've died? There's a lot of questions that I ask when I go into a location or somebody's home or on somebody too. So, it's a process. Yeah.
Randall, you and I have to take our first break. Please stand by. And X Zone Nation, if you'd like to find out more about Randall, he is on Facebook. Once again, this is the X Zone. My guest this hour is Randall Smith, and we'll both be back on the other side of this break as we continue right here from our broadcast center and studios in St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada. Randall Smith is my guest of this hour. X Zone Nation, we're talking about the paranormal. Randall is a conduit. He helps people from this side who have been passed on, who have died, who don't know they have been died, to get to the other side. And Randall, how does it feel when knowing that you've been able to accomplish something that is so unique?
That's a tough question, Rob. Excuse me. The answer to that, I guess, would be elated. I'm proud to be able to do this. It feeds my soul. It feeds my soul to know that I've helped somebody on a soul level to be able to go home. It's like, a kid been missing for 5, 10 years, 20 years. Some of the souls that I've crossed over have been gone 100 years, 200 years. So when they've been gone for that length of time and they've missed out on that learning that they're going to go into once they get out of the physical realm here, it's really hard to put an answer to something that's so encompassing. Because it is who I am and what I do, but I guess the easiest answer would say it feeds my soul. It just makes me feel great. It feeds my soul to know that I've helped on a very, very good spiritual level.
Is there a difference between a spirit and a ghost, or are they just the same with 2 different words?
Just the same with 2 different words. Haunting's a haunting, regardless of how you look at it. Ghosts, spirits, all the same thing.
How many crossings can you estimate that you've done? A ballpark.
At one time? Or
no, all told. Well, yeah.
Geez, probably close to about 2 million. Probably.
Wow.
That's probably a low estimate too.
Really?
I've crossed over 10 to 15,000 at a time. At some point or another, you just can't count that high when they're zipping by you. And I'll ask at the end, how many do we help today?
Right.
I don't say that from ego at all. It has nothing to do with it. I just kind of gives me an idea of what the energy is like in place, that how many souls have crossed over. Because if there's a serious amount of spiritual activity going on, then there's a lot of activity there. There's a lot of souls there. So the more I can help cross over, the least amount of activity is going to happen in that spot. 2 million at least. I really don't. I don't know. I just did one not long ago, and it was 15,000. So
that must be draining on you.
It is. I have to go take a nap.
How do you protect yourself from any negative energy entering you, or you bringing somebody home from a crossing?
Okay. Regardless if I've been doing this, sorry,
sure,
20 years, 2 days or whatever, I use the same type of protection. I put the white and gold light of love and protection around and through me. I have to visualize this in my mind, and also physically. I see it, feel it, and go through me. I have certain things that I wear and carry on me. I am a hollow bone. I'm a hollow bone. So all I'm doing is holding space in this place, okay, with the energy that I bring forth. I ask for those who are in the light to come forth, that are family, friends, and loved ones of those who are trapped here, to come forth and assist and help with the healing. And then I also ask for guides, teachers, healers, and loved ones. So I ask for a lot of help. And like I said, I'm just a hollow bone. And when I'm talking to the soul that is still here, kind of gives me an idea of what it would probably take for them to cross over. Like if your grandmother was to come and see you, or your sister, or your daughter, or your brother, or your mom or dad, if they were to come to see you from the light, you're not going to ask me any more questions. You're going to go home.
Right.
And I think that's the bottom line, so, and that's how I approach that. Anybody can do this, but you have to be very, very, very careful in doing this, because they can attach to you and cause a plethora of problems. So if it's something that you would like to get involved in, give me a call or give me a text or something. I can teach you, or I will show you where to go to get it properly done. But anybody can do it. It's great. I love doing it.
What kind of problems?
Whew, another loaded question, Rob. Good question, though, man. Okay. Alcoholism is a major one.
Oh, wow.
Okay. And again, when I refer to I'm just a hollow bone. A hollow bone spirit works through me. Okay.
Right.
So we've removed several alcoholics from people. They would call me and said, my husband has severe drinking problems or whatever. And I say, okay, don't tell me anymore. Does he want to do this, or does she want to do this? I've also done the same thing on women as much as men. And they have to say yes. If they say yes and come and see me, now it's kind of open to where we can get the removal off of you. A spirit, you can pick up somebody who's died anywhere. Hospital, you can drive by an accident scene, you can be nursing a home, you can just be walking down the street, you can go on the front porch, you can just live in a house where somebody has died, and they can attach to you if they don't know that they're dead. And once they attach to you, then that's when problems can occur. And again, alcoholism, I took an uncle off of a person, and the person stopped drinking immediately. And they haven't ever touched another drop of alcohol since then. So I know that this works, and that's one of probably 100 or 2 that this has happened for. I can't keep track of everything and everybody, but I mean, it happens more than not. Schizophrenia to me is an undeveloped medium or psychic. And if they have multiple personalities going on there, then there's an attachment in there, and we can get that person to get off of there and go into the light where they belong. I don't necessarily believe in full possession.
Right.
Possession is the Linda Blair crap. I don't really, I don't. Go ahead.
Can objects be possessed?
Absolutely. Sure can.
I often wonder how many people go to yard sales or antique sales or estate sales and inadvertently bring something that they bought back to their home that is actually possessed.
It happens more than you think. And it's simple to get the spirit off of whatever you have. Get some loose leaf sage, just regular sage, and light it and hold the object or burn around the object and say, I'll release you from this object. Please go back to the light, and just do that until you feel a difference. And more than likely it'll go away. If it doesn't, then you need to get a hold of somebody like myself, and we can help you with that. But yeah, objects have things. And the same thing with your vehicles. You've heard of the lemon law, haven't you? That's
the lemon law? Yes.
Yeah, the lemon law. It's in the United States. It's when a car is built on a Friday or a Monday, and they have all the problems. The ones built on Friday have the most problems. The ones built on Monday have second to the most problems. So they got something else called the lemon law. So it takes care of some of those issues. Well, that type of energy also will affect objects too. Even the clothes you wear or the car you buy or whatever. You never know what you're going to get. I actually had an opportunity to work on a car one time that was highly possessed, and it was very strange. But anyways, it was taken care of, and everything is good now and moving forward. But yeah, things can be possessed.
You send people to the light. Do people
Yes.
ever come back from the light?
Typically, no.
No.
Unless they haven't completely stepped into the light. But most of the time,
Mhm.
no, I really haven't had too many occasions at all. I can't even think of that anybody's came back from the light. Because believe you me, if my mom or dad come to get me, I'm going home.
You're going.
I'm going home.
How about children? It must be hard when you're working with children to take a child from the spirit world who doesn't know they're dead, and they must be more than confused.
They are definitely confused. At the majority of the time, there's because a parent has kept them here with them. They've died together, and the fear from the parent has kept the child here also. And once that individual is crossed over, then the child will automatically go.
But it must be harder than helping an adult cross over.
Yeah, man. You did have a rating on this show, right? Okay. An asshole in life is an asshole in death. So you've got those types of personalities you have to deal with all the time, especially when doing any type of extrication or psychopomp work or anything like that. Because if you got a very combative spirit, you kind of almost got to approach it in a very loving way, because you're not there to hurt, you're there to help.
Right.
And it takes, sometimes it can take a couple hours to convince this particular individual that the people that he's seeing or she is seeing is not the devil. They're not here to hurt you. They're not going to judge you. They're not going to send you to, any of that. I mean, because when I died, I judged myself. I was only 6 years old. I mean, what could I have done up to that point? But,
True.
I judged myself. And that's what you're going to experience too when you go into the light. So in regards to that, you're not going to be condemned. You'll be accepted with the biggest hug of love you've ever had in your entire life. It's like going to your grandmother's house and you're the favorite and she has everything there for you. Whatever you want, you can have it.
All right, my friend, you and I have to take our break at the bottom of the hour. Thank you so much for joining us, Randall. Exonation Randall Smith is our special guest, and he's available on Facebook. We'll both be back after this short break as we continue right here in the X Zone with yours truly, Rob McConnell, from our broadcast center in St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada. Don't go away. And welcome back, everyone. Randall Smith is our guest. And Randall, if people get caught when they're dead, they don't know they're dead, and you so graciously help them cross. How about animals? Are they sometimes in the same situation as humans?
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. It's a natural process for an animal to go right to the light. Love is a strong bond, and a strong bond between people and our four-legged friends. And I had a dog that passed 10 years ago, and she stuck around us probably a month until I told her it's okay to go. You can go ahead and go. Then I didn't feel her around anymore. But animals can stick around. And also, again, the love is a big bond, and it will keep things here. So it's good to grieve, but you got to let it go. And when you let it go, you let it go. So, and I have removed, I had a pit bull one time that I had to do an extrication on. And I don't know how this little dog attached itself to this big dog, but this big dog liked to rip me a new one. And I had to grab a hold of the collar, and I held it up, and I was, the dog was really trying to get me good. So I held it up and I yelled at the dog. And when I yelled at the dog, I see the little dog jump off of this dog. And at that point, I knew that this dog was clean. It's kind of ironic because when I set the dog down, the dog licked my hand and licked my leg. And I let her take it and put the dog back in the car because it's a big, mean dog. But it didn't do anything to me. But I did see the little dog jump off of that dog and scatter across. So, yeah, animals do attach to other animals. Typically, they don't. But I do find if they've lived together, that does have a tendency to happen. But sometimes it just does not. And I mean, there's really a lot of times it just does not, because there's a natural order, and an animal knows when to go naturally.
Would you say that these days there are more and more negative energies or negative spirits that you're having to deal with compared to, let's say, 5-10 years ago?
Yeah, there sure are. And I really I'm going to throw this out there, but personally have experienced, like you're asking, a lot more negative spirits. And I really believe it has to do with the reactivation of CERN. And
Okay, in
then
Switzerland, yeah.
a lot of the elites don't want things to fall upon them. So they're amping up those types of things, amping up the energy to CERN, opening that hole a little bit bigger. And they're kind of asking for things to come from the other dimensions. And those are the types of things that we really don't want here. And there is a lot of negativity there, but there's also good that comes from that too. But it does seem and feel like there's more negative coming because of the environment of what's going on right now everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a battle for myself, and I know a lot of other people who do this type of work too. So, and I talk to them often, and it's kind of the same thing across the playing field. Is like the negativity is just sometimes it's just overwhelming, just unbelievably overwhelming. But we do what we do. We got to make sure we can take care of business and help as many as we can.
Sure. We were talking before about the number of people that you've helped cross at one time, and I believe the one number was 15,000.
Yeah.
How do they know that you're there and that you're going to be able to help them all cross?
Okay. You're asking some good questions, Rob. Okay. I have been rewired because of the near-death experience.
Right.
I feel that I have a brighter light. And again, I'm not saying that of an ego. I mean,
no, I understand that.
Okay. So in being a brighter light, they do kind of seek me out. I mean, I have them come in my dreams. I have them come into my house. I've got to put boundaries up to make sure that doesn't happen because I do have a daughter and things of that sort. So I really have boundaries like that. But I do like to invite, and I like to help as many as possible to cross over. I don't know. It can be tough. It can be really tough. I guess that's what I got for you.
I would also imagine that in case of a major natural disaster or, God forbid, an act of war, that these people who are suddenly lifeless, I can try to imagine, but I really can't, how they must feel like their existence as they knew it, bang, is gone, and they're in this. Could we say it was like a world of limbo where there's
it's not necessarily purgatory.
Right,
the blue gray world. It's everything is just basically blue gray, and it's like going into a crowded airport and no flights.
Wow.
People just run around wondering what to do. And then bringing the light forward, they recognize the light, and everybody's drawn to the light, especially when you've passed. So when the light, especially somebody who brings light with them, because I ask for all those teachers, healers, and guides, Mother, Father, God, Master Spirits, teachers, healers, and guides to assist and help me with this healing process. And in the process of that, I feel like I'm glowing. And I know that when we go into a place, we're going to attract these. And like I said earlier, I mean, I could be very low in the estimate of people. I don't really know. I mean, just once it opens up, you just feel, and all of a sudden, this becomes a stream of people crossing over. I live not far from Fort Wayne, and there's 3 rivers there. I had done a house one time at the Forks of the Wabash. That's where all the 3 rivers come together. And it was a trade route at one time. And I know that because I lived here almost all my life. But I wasn't expecting to see what I saw. And as many people who have passed were there. I mean, there's probably 500, 600, maybe 700, because, you'd have 50 pass over in this area and over in this area. And then once the light appears, it's like, hey, the light's over here. Come on, come on, come on. And all of a sudden now you got just lines of people and lines of people. And I get beside myself. It's like, oh my God, I cannot believe I'm actually witnessing what I'm seeing here in my mind. It's like, am I dreaming? What is really going on here? But when I feel lighter and everything, just the air is different. It is just, there's lightness, and bright, and it's like your senses are 100% active. Everything is really heightened at that point. That's when I know that something really magical has happened here. And I get confirmation after confirmation after confirmation from different people who I've done their homes and things that no activity's happening here anymore. Thank you so much for what you did. Well, it wasn't me. I'm just a hollow bone. We kind of took care of it for you.
It sounds like this is a very rewarding gift or service that you provide, and it sounds as if that you were chosen for this.
I feel like I was too, Rob. I mean, I really do. I had people when I was 7, 8, 9 years old asking me for advice. Come on, man, I'm just a kid. How am I supposed to give you advice? And ironically, I was able to apparently channel some kind of message for them, and they put them on the right direction. But this has happened to me all of my life. And yes, it is very rewarding. Like I said, it feeds my soul. And I don't do it out of ego. Ego has nothing to do with this. I love doing what I do. So, and again, it feeds my soul. And the more you can feed your soul, the more you're going to do. And the brighter your light will shine.
This little light of mine, right?
That's exactly right.
Stand by, my friend. You and I have to take our final break. And X Zone Nation, if you'd like to contact Randall Smith, just go on Facebook, type his name in, and he is in Indiana. The X Zone, a place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard, Monday through Friday from 10 p.m. Eastern until 2 a.m. Eastern, right here on the Talkstar Radio Network, Mutual Broadcast Network, X Zone Broadcast Network, and Channel 54 on Simul TV. We'll both be back as we wrap up this hour. Whatever you do, don't go away. There's more to come. Just a little programming note here. You can watch many of the great shows we have here on the X Zone TV channel, as well as listen to the X Zone Broadcast Network 724 365, where some of the shows include Kevin Randall, A Different Perspective, Willa Wiaka, Mission Evolution, the X Zone Radio TV show. We also have Roberta Grimes. Let me see, Roberta Grimes. We have Dr. Gibbs Williams, Dr. David Hanscom, just to name a few, and that's at www.xzbn.net. Randall Smith's my guest, and first of all, Randall, I want to thank you so much for joining us tonight here in the X Zone and sharing the great work that you do. You know, helping people cross.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you for the invite. Invite.
My great pleasure. A lot of people on these television shows, Ghost Hunters and so on, they seem to focus now on demons. I guess they'd be the negative energies. How far away from when it comes to reality as you see it?
I believe that there's dark force entities. Yes. I don't necessarily believe in the devil, albeit I did see a devil when I was very young. He come out of my closet door. I was trying to go to sleep. I had the Eagles playing in the background. You know, I'm trying to go to sleep, and I hear the scratching, and the door flew open. And here's this big, the devil come out of my closet. He came up to me. He puts his finger in my face. He goes, "I want you." And I felt him, and I smelled it, and it's like, oh my God! And I couldn't go to sleep. I immediately packed all my stuff out of that room and went and stayed with my mom and dad for the day. And then I got the other end of the hallway, their bedroom down there. So my sister inherited the house when my mom and dad passed, and my sister asked me to come over and do a cleansing on the house. And I thought to myself, oh my God, I'm going to do this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I want to do this. You know, because that's where I saw the devil at. So I save that room for last, of course. So I do the whole house. I get to that room and I open the door, and there's I think he's 8 or 9 at the time, an 8 or 9-year-old boy who was crouched in the corner. I saw him. And I was surprised that I didn't see him like that when I was a kid, but he came out because I was Southern Baptist and I grew up in that family. So I was going to hell. So I feared the devil. So that's what he showed himself as. So when I seen the boy, I asked him why he's here. And he had told me he fell out of the front of the house, the second-story bedroom window, and he died there. So he stayed with the house. And he fed off everybody's fears within the house. And once I brought his family from the light, then he went to the light, and then the house was clean. So, and in regards to that, yeah, It's exciting. I like doing it. But religion seems to be the big deal. I don't have a problem with it. It's just the fear that it causes problems when people pass. What was your question again? I got off on a tangent. Sorry.
No, you answered it. Your dad being a Southern Baptist minister, why wasn't he more understanding? I'm sorry, your grandfather. Why wasn't he more in understanding?
Yeah. Well, at the time, he was probably somewhere around 50 or 60 when this happened to me. And Southern roots are very deep. And we grew up south of Chattanooga, Tennessee. So we were in the sticks way back there. So, I mean, it's either their way or it's no way. And it's either the Bible or it's not the Bible. So that's kind of why. He believed, your opinion, he prayed every day. He believed and prayed every day, but he was a very, very religious man. Spiritual, yes, but religious more.
In your opinion, what is the most dangerous aspect of what you do that somebody listening to us tonight says, oh, geez, I'd like to try that. I think I'd be good at it. What kind of danger are they placing themselves in?
If you go into a haunted home and you don't really know the type of spirit that's actually still there. And a lot of people think, well, I'll take you home. I'll take you home and I'll help you cross over from there. Once you invite a spirit in you or on you, you have to see somebody like myself in order to get the spirit off of you, because you can have a lifetime of problems because of that. So by inviting a spirit to you is definitely the most dangerous thing that you can do, or thinking you can go into a place that has had severe trauma and help people cross over. You probably can't help a few of them, but you're going to get some of them that don't know that you're dead, and they want to know why you're here, and they are going to cause you some problems, and they can't attach to you. So a little bit of training can go a long way in this type of work. Like I said, anybody can do this, but you have to have confidence. Total confidence in the protection you put around yourself, the guides that you've asked to come in, and the spirits also that you've asked to come from the light to assist and help with the healing. Because there's a lot of people who will say, I condemned you, I send you out to, why would you want to do that? Help these people cross over, help them to go home. You help them to go home, not stick around here. That's the biggest issue I can see, is that could cause some problems.
We've come to that point where we have to, you say so long, but what are your final thoughts? What would you like to share tonight with the X-Zone Nation?
I would like for as many to reach out to me as they can. I'd like to give you some kind of basics on how to help people cross over. I really feel that we're getting ready to go into a time. We've already started. We're going to go into a time where we're going to lose a lot of people, and a lot of people don't know that they've passed. So if you can, at least learn the basics of helping people cross over, and don't be scared when you see a spirit or a ghost. Don't get scared when you see it, because they're reaching out for you for help. And they do. That's how they see you in your dreams, or they can sit next to you in your car or whatever. But if you see a spirit, they want help, and ask them, get calm and ask them, what can I do for you? And they'll usually tell you what they need or how to go about it or something of that sort.
Randall, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I look forward to the next time you and I meet back here in the X-Zone. Until then, be well, be safe.
Thank you, Rob.
And thank you again.
All right.
My great pleasure. Good night, sir. And X-Zone Nation, if you'd like to find out more about Randall, visit him on Facebook. All you need to do is type in Randall Smith, and then he's in Indiana. Wow. Can you imagine that? Helping more than 2 million souls cross over. I'll be back at the top of the hour as hour number 2 of the X-Zone continues with yours truly, Rob McConnell, from our broadcast center and studios in St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada. I'll see you then. Don't go away.